Hey guys, we want to talk about Rush, about what's currently happening with Rush. That's kind of interesting to say, huh?
Yeah, and this came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like I woke up one morning and Rush is torn again.
hmm And by the
Um,
way, that's Jason. I'm Peter. He always introduces me, so I guess I can.
Hi.
But they're going to take a girl, Anika. Most people have heard about this. We just wanted to chat about it for a minute. I thought it was Anika, which is a cool name, right? But it's Anika, like Star Wars. Um, isn't that his name?
Anakin.
Anakin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so,
the female
so
version of
like,
Anakin.
like Star Wars, not
Yeah.
So.
By the way, I'm not a fan of those later Star Wars movies. I'm just
Yeah.
getting that out.
Fuck that shit.
The original three.
And then the last couple are pretty good too. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
8 and 9, they're pretty good.
8 and 9.
Those are good, dude. Those are pretty good.
We'll talk about that off camera.
They're not like Empire.
I'll
but-
slap them around.
Yeah.
Knock some sense into them.
So anyway, Anika Nilles, I think the last name is. I don't think it's Niles. It's 2 L's, right? So Nilles.
No, sounds
Soft eye. So Anika Nilles, and she is tremendously talented. I would
good.
just
First
say
of all, she has to be.
fusion drummer really is what she is. She's fusion. She played with Jeff Beck, and it's kind of amazing. I think Geddy and Alex needed to wait a certain amount of time, just kind of just wait a little while, and just let some time pass and let them and everyone else get used to the fact that something else might happen. And here it is. It's kind of amazing.
The first thing that comes to mind is Geddy and Alex those are true musicians. Okay, yeah, they ended up getting very rich, and I'm sure they liked the fame to an extent, but they're musicians at heart. And the band wasn't even existing anymore, and they're getting together jamming. Do you think Paul and Gene are getting together jamming for fun? No, they're not.
Well, they've always been like best friends.
Yeah, best friends, and they're jamming together.
Yeah.
They're playing old songs. They're playing Working Man and all that. And
Although you could give Gene and Paul a few years, like we did for. I mean, when did Pert die? Pert died
2020.
20. Yeah, so yeah, it's been
Yeah.
5+ years.
So they just like to play together, and I'm sure they're playing probably their Yardbird songs they like and stuff.
Yeah, they're Yardbirds.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're just having fun playing music, and yes, I'm sure in the back of their mind they're realizing we're gonna get super fucking rich, more rich from this.
Yeah.
But that's not.
You probably don't need the money.
I don't think it's the main motivation. It's
Yeah.
just a perk.
Yeah.
They love playing music, and
Mm-hmm.
they loved being in Rush, and I don't think Neil would be saying absolutely never play again.
No. He's
so-
a smart guy. There
Yeah.
wouldn't be jealousy and bullshit. Like
and
that.
I'm sure, there'll be plenty of tributes to him throughout the show.
But they waited the right amount of time, and I just want to say, I think when I investigated her a little bit, and everybody else, when they all investigated her, it's like you look at everybody's comments on different posts and stuff, and on YouTube, and it's like, yeah, this would work, Her feel, sure, she's way less self-taught. She's very fusiony. She's not funky. She's not jazz in a swing sense. She's very fusiony, kind of fusiony jazz rock type thing.
Which is basically what they need if they want to cover the whole spectrum of their music. I think a lot of people probably would have thought it's going to be Dave Grohl or something, and
Could be.
but it's cool they got somebody relatively unknown. They could have got Dave Grohl.
I mean, she's known within drum circles. She's not new. She's known for sure. But I mean, as far as
to the average,
one of the biggest
person.
bands in the world, she's not known on that level.
Right. Exactly.
I guess she did the last Jeff Beck tour, and yeah, you're gonna have to be pretty good to be in that drum chair with like the long line of drummers that have played for Jeff Beck. I mean,
Yeah.
and she the thing about her playing is she does hit hard. Neil hit hard, She does hit hard. She is forceful when she wants to be. She's also delicate. She, Neil's playing was shaped around Rush over the years, I think. they're rock, you know. So when he's in, it's pretty much he's hitting a certain velocity. I mean, he was a hard hitter. She is uh, coming from, like, I guess she has solo records and stuff too. But you watch her
Really?
videos, she can play very delicately too. But not kind of like I said, not kind of in a bebop swing kind of way, but like it's straight eight music. Like she is straight eights and quarter note based, you know. Um, I don't really hear funky kind of shuffly stuff or swing rhythms in there, which which I love, but that makes her perfect for Rush because Rush is very straight eight rock. I think Neil Peart is one of the first guys that really took getting a perfect feel, a perfect straight forceful feel to the next level, and I think he really influenced a lot of players, more so in the late 70s and 80s. I think the feel that he plays with, that forceful, perfect, great tempo, even snare hits all the time. He'll even talk about it, how later in life it's kind of hard to play as forceful and even as it needs to be to really pull some of the music off. He would mention that with Tom Sawyer all the time. But he brought that to another level, you know. He wasn't loose, you know. You want loose in Tony Williams or whoever, but with Rush, Neil Peart was absolutely a perfect fit for that. And his drumming grew with Rush, of course. But I think even though she has more sides to her playing, maybe, and she's more than self-taught. I mean, I think she could fit in the grooves and give the feel and the give that pronounced feel that we need on the snare and stuff for Rush.
Yeah, I mean, being the new drummer in Rush, if you want to call her the new drummer in Rush, or is she just a fill-in, doesn't matter. But it's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
Like, this is huge, and especially with all eyes on her.
Unanimously, people are agreeing though that's a good choice. You know.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So I'm sure she's gonna do just fine.
Yeah. She's very likable and nice and modest also. She's a likable person, and that helps. You know, that helps people look at an interview with her and see that holy shit, she just played like that, and she's shy and sweet, but we like her. I mean, you know that
Sounds like Peter's got a crush.
Sure, yeah, but that helps sell it. You know, that really does. You know,
Yeah.
likability. So
Yeah.
very
Whereas Neil was a total like recluse.
when he didn't want to talk, he didn't want to talk.
No.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even travel with the other guys. Just he'd ride his motorcycle,
Mhm.
the Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
But God, did we love Neil?
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about Rush because we were talking earlier. Rush is probably the band who we collectively like the most, who we've never done an episode about.
It's not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's Upwind too. But you know, there's some bands we definitely love that we haven't even touched upon. We've been in our Beatles kick lately, and we're going to get back to that probably next week. But yeah, Rush. How did you get into Rush, Peter?
So, I had Grace Under Pressure on cassette, and it was the Columbia House version with the two little red lines on the spine.
Were they red or pink? I always thought they were pink.
Are they pink?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe they are
Yeah,
pink. Yeah. And I had that, and I put it on occasionally. But honestly, I'm looking for hooks. Like at the time when I was like 10 or 11, I'm looking for like Judas Priest hooks. I'm looking for like, if it's not as catchy as Electric Eye, it ain't gonna get through my little brain at the time. You know what I mean? It's got to be Calling Dr. Love or you know what I mean? It's gonna have to be pretty straightforward, good, heavy hooks, Iron Maiden stuff like that. But I did like it. I remember thinking I did like the mood of it, something about it. I felt like I didn't quite understand it, which is probably true. And I would occasionally whip that tape out
It was kind of challenging you.
at friends' houses, and we would put it on, and I liked it. Although my mind would wander somewhere towards the end of side one. My mind would be wandering somewhere else because it's just a kid looking to hear Number of the Beast or whatever, So, and it went on like that for a while, and that's the only album I really had. But I wasn't completely sold on it. But I thought there's something there that I need to look into,
Yeah.
So then finally about 88 or 89, there's a place here called Second Time
Wow,
Around.
so it's like 5 years later.
Yeah. At second time around, I got 20. I bought 2112 because I heard that's the one to get. That's the one. That's the one that's always like, oh, 2112. I got it on cassette, and that was it. I was sold.
Did that have more of what you were looking for?
Well, it was just me being of
Pretty
age.
progressive.
Me being of the right age, I think, to really get it. And Grace Under Pressure is a very dense, detailed. It's not big, strong riffs. You know, it's not like it's not stuff like that. It's a really, really great album. It turned out to be my favorite album as a whole. But yeah, 2112 did it. You know, and well, duh. You know, it just needed to hit me at the right time.
And then you probably went through their whole.
Then I went back and
yeah.
bought every single thing I could get.
Second time around was good for that.
Yeah.
You go in there and maybe for $15 you'd leave with 3 or 4 classic albums. Maybe they weren't in the
Yeah.
best condition, but
Yeah.
you know.
Cassettes were $2, $3.
Yep.
Yeah.
About
About you?
For me, I've said this before. I grew up a radio kid. You know, we were fortunate enough to have. I mean, they're still around, but they're different. A couple of really good radio stations, namely KISW, KZOK on the FM dial, and even some cool ones on the AM dial at the time. But the rock radio, like KISW, would play things like Rush, Ted Nugent, AC/DC,
Yeah.
you know, Van Halen. And that's how I would hear these songs. So yeah, of course, they were all over Moving Pictures when that came out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I knew things like, you know, the Trees, Spirit of Radio, things like that they would play. But yeah, and you know, you're in the neighborhood, you know, the kids are talking about Rush too. Some of the older guys are like playing guitar, and you hear them play Tom Sawyer, and it's just, there's this band called Rush you're aware of, and they have some cool songs on the radio. And,
Yeah.
and before you know it, you're a teenager, and you're getting your album collection going, and you know, Moving Pictures comes into that collection, and then you're a little bit older, and you're able to drive to places like Second Time Around Records, or there was another one called Golden Oldies.
Yep. And Budget and places like
Here
that.
in Tacoma, Washington, Budget, and yeah, you find yourself buying these albums. Like you're looking at the back of 2112, like, oh yeah, Passage to Bangkok. I've heard that on the radio. I'm gonna get this one. You know,
You heard that on the radio?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, or Circumstances, to this day one of my favorite Rush songs.
Yeah.
On Hemispheres.
Hemispheres, the whole
Yeah.
album. Oh my God. Side one. Man.
So, yeah, growing up a big listener to the radio, being familiar, and our radios, kind of like what you just mentioned, like they played that one, like KSW would play cool album tracks, especially at night. So,
Let me ask you something really quick. When you were hearing them on the radio, did you think it was a male or a female singing?
I think I was hip enough to know.
You knew?
I at least knew it was a guy because my friend Tim Ely had Moving Pictures. Oh, another thing, I've mentioned this before too. The rock show, it was this video show, local video show on local cable, would play a lot of cool videos you wouldn't see on MTV, like You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, or All Night Long by Rainbow, they would play that. Things like that. Number the Beast. And they would play, like, you know, the Tom Sawyer video where they're in the studio playing, and it looks like a cold Canadian day, but they're in the studio, and you know, so seen that a lot. So yeah, that I knew it was GEDDY was a guy. I knew that.
You knew that?
Yeah.
That studio finally, it was out of commish. And then some homeless people went in there and started some fires and just really fucked it up. I guess it's just, they finally gave up. I don't really know if the whole place has been torn down yet, but I think that people finally gave up on trying to get that studio going again.
And that's where they recorded Moving Pictures, right?
That's where they recorded a bunch of stuff through into the 80s. I think they loved it there. You could stay there. There was quarters. You could live there. And Le Studio and the I Like to Rock. Pretty
Oh,
sure that
April-
was
April
recorded there
Wine.
too, and there's
Okay.
a video with them in front of those same
Yeah, I
windows.
can kind of picture that now.
The
I
same
can kinda
windows,
picture that.
yeah.
Another Canadian band, April Wine.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's, I mean, just growing up with them in your life in some form. And then, of course, you're old enough to really get it and get the collection going.
Mhm.
And then I've seen Rush 3 or 4 times, all in the 2000s. I wasn't cool enough to go back then. And MTV filmed, I think it was from the Movie and Pictures Tour or Exit Stage Left. They filmed this concert and would play it on MTV.
Mhm.
That was cool. I think there's a Red Barchetta video from that concert. With the red light. I think Big
Yeah.
Alex is wearing a red jacket.
So there's exit stage left. There's also
There's the Grace Under Pressure.
All the
show.
World Stage video. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was officially released, but I feel like it might have been officially released in small numbers, and that's Beacon Theater, or what theater is that?
That I don't know.
It's one of those theaters, and that's a cool show, but it's black and white. It's a little rougher footage. To see it though is really cool. And then the next video that came out, then they started doing kind of like what a lot of bands do, big bands like Depeche Mode and stuff like that. They'd have a big tour, live DVD box set comes out the next summer or whatever. Like next tour, 2 years later, another live box set. So there's like a live box set of a lot of those Rush tours. But it started with Moving Pictures, and then there was one for Grace tour, and then I feel like Power Windows maybe didn't. It had like a video EP maybe. There's a Grace Under Pressure video EP too. I don't think there's a. The next live video was Show of Hands, right?
Yeah.
With Rush, there's
Yeah.
one every few years.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a
Mhm.
live collection of footage.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. GEDDY had a nice mullet going on there for a while too.
heck yeah, heck yeah.
They started to look very 80s.
Yeah.
And sound very 80s. My least favorite Rush period, mid to late 80s. The Hold Your Fire era. Good songs here
Yeah,
and
but
there.
Hold Your Fire, I think I might even like it better than Power Windows, even though I like Big Money, and so I like a
Big
lot of
Money's
Power
good.
Windows for sure. But something about Hold Your Fire, they're strong songs throughout. Looking back, they are strong songs. It is more keyboard than us rocker kids wanted to hear at the time. But
Yeah.
they are really strong songs. Hold Your Fire, I do put it on more than Power Windows probably, but it was nice when Presto came around.
Oh, Big Money. Yeah.
No, the Presto album, Show Don't Tell.
Sure don't. Oh, that's it. Yeah.
I mean that when they
Yeah,
came
that's a good
around,
song.
and they're just, and it was the funny thing is that album had the acoustics up front some of the time too, which is interesting.
Sure Don't Tell's a good song.
Strumming those acoustics kind of wildly, but at least it was guitar, and so it was nice for us rocker kids to hear the guitar up front a little more and less keyboards. Although there is a fair amount of keyboards I think on the album, but
Yeah, I will say Rush are one of the few bands that they really rebounded towards the end of their career and put out some really good albums actually. Snakes and Arrows, I remember. I'd seen them on that tour. Great album.
yeah.
Vapor Trails is good. A lot of those 90s, 2000s albums.
Vapor
were-
Trails. I'm pretty sure they played the Gorge.
Yeah, they did.
You were there?
No, but I know they did.
I saw that I was there with my sister and my girlfriend at the time, and whatnot, and it rained on us. It rained on us pretty
Wow.
bad, from what I remember. It was pretty lame. Here's the thing, classic group. You want to hear Circumstances, you want to hear Trees, you want to hear Fly By Night, whatever, and then they play like 5 songs from the new album in a row,
Oh, in a row.
and it's like, woo, that's a lot. I mean, not that their new music was horrible, but that's a lot of it, like right in a row, to sit through. And then that's when it rained, and it was kind of like, oh man. I remember that one being a little bit of a drag in the middle of the concert.
Yeah.
So
Probably why it rained.
yeah. But the next one after Presto was Roll the Bones, and that was my first big concert I ever went to.
Is that the one where Primus opened?
Primus opened,
That's a good bill right there.
and you could consider it the second leg of the Sailing the Seas tour when they came around. But Miscellaneous Debris, the EP, with Intruder and what else is on there? There's a bunch of good stuff on Miscellaneous Debris, but that had just come out, so they were just touring for both really at that time.
They're torn because Rush wanted them to open for him.
And Primus was a perfect, great, listenable volume, and it was powerful. And at the time, Rush was still doing like these little compilations of songs, all within like 5 or 6 minutes, where they played part of Tom Sawyer and part of In the Mood. You know, it's like we all hated that. We wanted to hear the songs.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and
how could you not play all of Tom Sawyer?
They were like, I don't mean they were a little bit louder than Primus. They were twice as loud and distorting like crazy.
Wow.
It was. I mean, I was excited to be seeing Rush for my first concert. I was excited. Key Arena, I think.
Yeah, I seen Rush once, or excuse me, Primus once, opening for Faith No More at the Moore Theater.
Cool.
They were incredible.
Yeah.
We love Primus too.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah, Rush. So, how do you feel? Are you going to go see them?
I'm not quite that rich.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
I don't think I can.
See, to me, this is one of those shows that's like a casino dream. What I mean by that is my wife and I do go to casinos.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to lie. And if we win a lot of money, it might just go towards that.
It might happen.
It might just go towards that. You know, because from what I understand, tickets, even the cheap seats, are at least $300-400.
Yeah.
And
I could maybe do that. If I went with a friend that wanted to buy their ticket, if I went with, say, a date and had to cough up $1,000 for 2 tickets, I don't know if I would.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like, how's KFC sounding, babe?
Yeah, but if I win a bunch of money at a casino, I'm going.
Yeah.
It's probably going to sell out quick, to be honest with you. Tickets
Yeah.
go on sale here. We have a Seattle show. What is it? I think October 10th next year.
Pledge
Like
Arena.
a whole year from now.
Climate Pledge is what
Yeah,
it's called. Yeah.
the big Coliseum.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll have to, if we want to go, we'll have to jump on it at the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of. But chances are we're not going, is what I'm getting at, because otherwise, that would be a good thing to talk about, like a concert review. But anyway, what we're getting at is we love Rush and we're glad they're back.
Yeah.
And I'll be, Mr. YouTube watching all the stuff. I'll tell you that.
It's probably a tour by tour basis. Who knows if they'll record with her? Neil wrote most of the lyrics. That's an interesting thought.
Wow, I see. My mind didn't even go that far.
I think they're probably just thinking, do an occasional tour. I mean, but I do really think she's a good choice because people like her. She's not arrogant and she's down to earth, and I just think her feel. I think most people check out her videos and agree that her feel will work. I think that's important. I think they chose really well.
Yeah, you're not gonna hear me say anything negative about what they're doing or anything like that, except about the ticket prices, which I'm sure wasn't even up to them.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to be Pearl Jam and fight Ticketmaster on this.
Yeah.
Let the guys get as rich as they can from this. They deserve it.
And she probably will too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we love Rush. Favorite Rush album?
Well, from start to end, it's Grace Under Pressure.
Wow, see?
Yeah. But every album, really. I mean, Hemispheres, Moving Pictures.
Mine's Moving
Oh my
Pictures.
God. Yeah.
I feel bad saying it because it's like, saying Dark Side's my favorite Pink Floyd album or Zeppelin 4.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Moving Pictures really is, I
It's
think,
the
their
one.
best album.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece.
It depends on what era I'm into. It depends on the era I'm feeling at the time too. But for me, Grace, from just this perfect suite of the way the songs unravel. For me, it's perfection.
I'll tell you one thing.
Better than Signals.
The debut is pretty fucking good too.
It is.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
man, what
Every
a
album.
good
Every
bluesy,
album.
hard rock album.
Just
that is.
depends on the mood I'm in, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We're gonna talk about Rush more in the future. This
two
is
thumbs
just,
up for two
yeah.
thumbs up for Anika. She's gonna fit.
And for Geddy and Alex for getting out there and doing it again, because if music's your passion, why not make it happen?
She has a really good feel. She has a really good eighth note, quarter note pulse type of her drum fills where she's doing quads and stuff, but messing with sticking, like when she's doing stuff off the floor toms. Reminds me of Dave Weckl or maybe even Dennis Chambers a little bit. Maybe a little bit more straight like Dave Weckl. He was in Chicory Electric Band and stuff. Check out the first Chicory Electric Band. It's Weckl. It's amazing, and you will probably hear something closer to her drum tones and her feel and her types of drum fills and stuff. Um, but I think her feel is really going to work with it. You know,
I wonder if there's going to be any footage whatsoever released before the first show, or is it just going to be like a wait?
Oh,
and
them
see?
rehearsing and stuff.
Yeah, or is it just wait and see and
Her tempo is really, really good, and of course playing with clicks, and she plays with tracks that are her songs and stuff, and does, you know, drum videos and stuff often. So her tempo is great, and Neil's tempo fluctuated sometimes, especially live, like Hemispheres tour and stuff. There's live stuff where he fluctuated. Sometimes he fluctuated completely on purpose, where he would pull a little hook or a riff down for a second and then pick it back up. You know, he did that on purpose. Sometimes I liked it live. Sometimes I just wish he would just play a tempo like the album. You know, honestly. Sometimes, you know, Rush, infamous for playing things live way slower. Sometimes they did that often. You know, and I wonder what will happen with her, with all those little ways that Neil preferred to like tug the chorus down a little bit tempo wise and stuff like that, because he was him and she's her, so that'll be interesting, you know.
Yeah, just one other thing, you know, not to be negative or anything, but you know, I've watched a lot of footage from their last tour in 2015, and that's 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And Geddy was struggling to hit high notes. It's you
It
can't.
happens. It happens.
I mean,
yeah.
this is 10 years later,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know what's going to happen as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we'll
see.
wait and see.
We'll see. Hopefully he just does the smart thing and hit it an octave below, since he probably can hit it stronger an octave below now. And don't try to replicate something exactly. Just do it the best you can
Well,
do.
he was a screaming banshee. Especially the first album. Oh my God.
His voice was just nuts.
Yeah.
And I asked that earlier of you, did you think it was a male or female? Because when I was a kid and would hear Fly By Night or whatever on the radio, I was just a kid in the backseat hearing their songs come on the radio. I didn't really think about if it was a guy or a girl, but I realized that sometime in my teenage years that I think I thought it might be a girl for a while there. I wasn't really sure, you know. It is kind of amazing how high he sang with that pitch control. So.
Yeah, so imagine being, what is he? Is he 70 yet? I think he's probably pretty close to it, and having to replicate that.
And then I would get like girlfriends throughout my life and be listening to Rush. They're like, "Is this a guy or girl?" I'm like, "Don't be stupid. Of course it's a guy. You can totally tell.
Come on, his name's Geddy Lee.
You can totally tell." But I understand. I did at one point. I wasn't totally sure myself when I was younger. So.
Wow, the truth comes out.
The truth comes out, man.
No, always knew it was a dude, but again, I had seen pictures on the back of albums and stuff.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So Rush, we're gonna get into them more heavily. Maybe after a Beatles kick.
Who knows? Maybe after Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were listening to them before we rolled tape here.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, could feel that rabbit hole getting closer.
You can feel the rabbit hole.
It's getting closer, and I'm about to go right down into it.
Yep.
Which Rush is a perfect band for that. You know, I consistently listen to Rush, but I go down the Rush rabbit hole. Like, last time I did is when I read Geddy's book, maybe 2 years ago. I was like, for 2 weeks straight, it was all Rush.
I love reading a biography or an autobiography like that and listening to the albums that go with it.
Yes.
In the timeline.
Yes.
I love doing that.
Yes.
I love doing that. Did
Absolutely.
that with all the Kiss books, the Steely Dan books, there's a Priest book and Genesis books. I love getting a good biography or autobiography.
Especially when you get a book that maybe it breaks down track by track and things like that.
Yeah.
And you listen to basically hear what you just read about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you read the Steely Dan book?
No.
The first one that they kind of came out with. I think it's called Reeling in the Years, isn't it? I think it is. Cheesy to just use that for that, but I think that is the name of it. It's the one with the two of them on it, the one that came out in like the 90s. That one, if you put on, say, like Countdown to Ecstasy and then read the chapter on that album, they go way, way into the recording of each album, way more than like any other band.
Okay.
Way more.
See, that's
Like-
what you want your books to do.
Yeah, yeah. You know, there's some rock star books like the Aerosmith book. The Aerosmith book was a fun read, but they ain't giving up details on miking
No.
techniques. You know what I mean? It's all about how much blow they were doing and whatever.
Exactly. See, that disappoints me when I read a book and it's about things like that.
But
I mean, don't get me wrong, that's interesting too. Okay, so
anyway.
thank you for watching our little, Rush mini episode, we'll call it, because there'll be more in the future.
Yeah.
I'm Jason, that's Peter. We're Any Way You Slice It. Watch our older videos. We got a lot of Kiss, some Beatles. We're in the middle doing Beatles, and we're going to do Sgt. Pepper next, so stay tuned for that. Thanks again for watching. Till next time.